Hi everyone, I'm Jill with Whispering Willow Farm, and today I'm going to show you how to revive your tulips if you have been storing them in a refrigerator or a cooler with the bulbs on. This is a common asked question and something I did a lot of research on before we decided to use this method. Now, if you missed the first video on how to store your tulips with the bulbs intact, you can check that out right here. But I have got deliveries tomorrow morning. I'm going to go ahead and revive these this afternoon. I would say you want to at least give yourself about 3 or 4 hours to wake your tulips up. However, I don't know if this is just the variety I'm growing, which is Salmon Impressions, but mine have not been super wilty. I think a lot of that is dependent on how you store them. Since these were stored laying down, I didn't have any sort of floppy stems, so they look great. But first of all, you are going to want some sort of bucket of water or maybe some glass mason jars if that is how you are choosing to do your arrangements. I do also have rubber bands, scissors, and some jute twine because we are going to go ahead and make these arrangements. Alright, so you guys can see here I am just unwrapping my tulips. They still look great. I mean, these are fantastic. All right, so we've unwrapped these. You guys can see they actually look great, and that is because they are still intact to the bulb, which means this is their energy source. This is what's keeping them alive. It's not actually until I go through and snip these bad boys off that this is going to need water. You want to make sure that you have a good pair of snips. I also like to keep a compost bucket so we can just go ahead and discard the bulbs in there. We are growing these tulips as annuals. That means this is just a flower that is going to grow annually. We're going to replant it every year. These are not going to perennialize. We're not going to save the bulbs. We are just composting these. So let that sink in for a minute, but that's what works for our farm. So now I'm going to grab the bucket that I'm going to compost these into, and we're going to get busy snipping. Alright, so now I'm just trying to clean up the bouquet a little. I'm just getting some of this excess dirt off, wanting to make it as pretty. You can see this one actually has some flaws on it, so this would be considered grade B. I'm going to stick this over here, and we're going to grab another one to replace it with. Alright, once you have your tulips, I'm doing about 7 per bouquet. I'm going to line them up, shorter ones in the front, taller in the back. Alright, so I have kind of placed these in somewhat of the way I would want them to be arranged. I went ahead and just snipped them off here to where they were all the right size. I'm going to grab my rubber band, band them. Alright, and here they would go back in water to be revived. So since I'm actually making these for deliveries, I'm going to go ahead and completely sleeve them, wrap them, and everything. And then they will go into my bucket, stay in the house overnight. I'll grab them in the morning and we'll start making our deliveries. So you guys can see these look pretty great. These were harvested about a week and a half ago. They're still pretty straight. Once you cut the bulbs off, this is when you would immediately need to put them in your water. So if you were just selling your arrangements like this, you could just go ahead, make a bunch of yours, put it in here. We are going to be wrapping ours. We like to put a little ribbon and a care card on it. So we're going to go ahead and do all of that now and then just put this in our bucket. This is what reviving a tulip looks like. When you store them with the bulbs intact, it really is that easy. You're just gonna pull from them, snip them off, make your arrangement, put them in some water. At this point, I don't have a lot. I have maybe just a couple inches covering the bottom, and you are good to go. So let's get busy making some more arrangements. Alright friends, so this is how simple it is to revive your tulips once you've stored them with the bulbs on. I am going to let these perk up for a little bit and then I will move them into my flower sleeves and get these ready for deliveries tomorrow. But if you have any questions, make sure you leave them down below. Thanks for hanging out. I'll talk to you soon.